Well, hello. I'm about to do the heel turn, and I'm going to continue the slip stitch pattern onto the heel turn, resulting in a double thick fabric. So the heel turn, just like the heel flap, it starts on a wrong side row, so that will end up here on the right side with the yarn in the correct position to work down this edge here. So with that, we'll begin the heel turn with a 2-row setup. Here on the wrong side, slip the first stitch, and then we'll be working half of our total amount. So I have 30 stitches, so now I will be working 15, which is half. Okay, so I slipped the first stitch and then worked half my total amount, and then I'm going to do our decrease, which is a purl 2 together followed by one more purl stitch. So that's how we will decrease every time. We'll do a left leaning decrease followed by one more stitch. So wrong side row complete. Slip the first stitch, work half your total amount, decrease followed by one more. And then we'll turn and do our right side setup. So slip the first stitch, and then we are going to work 3 followed by our decrease. But we're going to slip some stitches. So I can see I have my column of slip stitches here. So I'm going to start by knitting the first stitch and then slipping this one to keep it in pattern, and then work another. So I've worked 3 stitches, and now I will do my left leaning slip slip knit. Followed by one more. So right side setup complete. We slipped the first stitch and we worked 3, decrease plus one more. And in our work 3 section, we slipped the middle stitch to keep that in pattern. And now we'll kind of use this middle stitch as a visual reference as we continue. And one more tip is every time you complete a right side row, count these outside portions to make sure they match. So I have 11 and 11. So every time I complete a right side row, I like to count those just to make sure I'm on track. And now we will continue with our 2-row repeat. You'll just always slip the first stitch and then work across to the gap. So here's our gap in the stitches. I stop 1 stitch before the gap, and I will purl that together with the stitch after the gap. And then work one more per usual. So I slipped the first stitch, worked across and decreased the gap close, and work one more. Now right side row, slip the first stitch, and now we want to maintain our slip stitch pattern. So there's that slipped stitch in the center. So this time we're going to start slip 1, work 1, and then slip 1. So we stay in line there. Work 1. And now we're here at the gap. We are going to slip slip knit the gap closed. Plus one more. Alright. Alright, I'll count my edges real quick. Okay, I'm on track. Okay, we finished our second right side row, and you'll notice after we slipped the first stitch, we began our pattern this time with another slip stitch. So we went slip, knit, slip, decrease the gap close, and then worked one more. So you're actually alternating how you begin each right side row to keep your slip stitches going in a straight line. If you just started every row the same, like say you slipped the first stitch and then you just did knit slip every time, it would give you a checkered pattern like the eye of the partridge. So I'll just continue working the heel flap here. And then decrease the gap closed, plus one more stitch. So I can see I'm slipping here and slipping here. So I already slipped my first stitch, so I'm going to want this to be a knit. So this is going to be something I do from now on. Once you've got a couple of rows, it's pretty easy to see your slip stitch columns. You know, what I have not been doing is counting my edge stitches, so I have 5. Okay, I'm on track. yes, here we are. So that one's ending with a decrease. Oh yeah, I kind of figured out this cool trick. Instead of like coming to the front here to slip the stitch purlwise, if I continue that motion after the knit and come behind, here I'll show you. So knit, and then keep the swoop coming from behind. Swoop from behind. I can get in this really cool rhythm. Alright, so this is what it looks like. So you have this middle one that truly goes all the way up. I think that looks neat. Gonna continue working in the direction. The strand is broken into 3. This one's kind of harder to see. I'll show the next one. So, going into this one next, there's an orange, a yellow, and a cream. So we're going for the center strand. Then on the next one here, we have an orange, a dark orange, and a cream. So we'll go. The next one, center stitch. That center strand will get a little bit tighter on each one, and so when you pierce it, you can pull on it and it'll give you slack. You can give it a couple tries just to make sure there's no split threads. Okay, now I'll count to make sure I have 16. I made 16 ridges on my heel flap, so there we go, 16. Now I'm going to pick up one stitch in the corner. What you do is you follow this top ladder. It connects to the stitch right below the needle, and then the stitch across. So we're going to take the inside leg of each stitch. So I got the left leg of this one, and the right leg of this one. And then I'll use this needle to knit them through the back loop. Check to make sure there's no split threads. And there we go. How shall I do this now? I'll put all the stitches onto this needle. across and pick up stitches on the other side, and then we'll be back in the round. Okay, so we will start by picking up the stitch in the corner this time. So the ladder is attached 2 stitches down from the needle. So we'll take the inside leg there, inside leg there, and we'll knit them through the back loop. Okay. So this one makes a big fat stitch there, but on our next time around I'll show you how to pull that slack across the row and hide it. The little trio is oriented backwards, so it feels a little different going in this direction, but it's okay. The one I go for is this one that's sticking towards the top. Whatever one you do pick, just go in the same loop the whole way up. See, after 2 of them already, the center one has become very tight. That way I know I'm going into the right one, and you can stretch it. One. I don't know what that is. Might be like a split thread, but it will hide itself to the back. So I will count now. Make sure so that's the one I picked up. I think 2. No, that's the one I picked up. It's got the 2 twisted strands. So yep, 17. So that's 16 plus 1. And then I'm going to distribute the stitches so that they're even on both. I'll work around and start the gusset decreases. So you're going to start your gusset decreases immediately after you pick up the stitches. So right now I'm working into the stitches I picked up. And on the last little group of 3 I'm going to do my decrease. Okay, I've reached the last 3 stitches. That's the one I picked up in the corner. And so our decrease on this side is going to go to the right. So that's a knit 2 together. And then on this side, we're going to go to the left. So we start here with our knit 2 together. And then knit 1 more. Now I'm working across the front of my sock, which is 30 stitches. That's the stitch I picked up. So we're going to do knit one and then our left leaning decrease, which is slip, slip, knit. Okay, so we just finished our decreasing round, and we'll do a plain knit round, alternating between the two, a decrease round and then a plain knit round, until we are back to our original stitch count. So after I finish this needle here, I'm going to use one of my DPNs to pull that slack across the row. Okay, so on this one right here, on our slip slip knit side, from picking up that extra stitch with the two legs, it really stretched out these stitches here. So similar to like when we do the Kitchener stitch and we pull all the slack across, you can just go one leg at a time and tighten up that slack. And I work it across about, I don't know, 10 or 20 stitches. And you can't even tell. That's the row above it. So just leaving a tiny bit behind each time. And then you won't even be able to tell. Okay. This one is one row up. It's by the decrease here, so you could even pull that slack across a few stitches if it bothers you. But we got the big one fixed there, and then once you block it too, you won't even be able to tell. So that's what the corner there looks like. That's what the corner here looks like.